Question number 3 is about the quarterback position. Now, I could have said who's going to start at quarterback, but to me, I don't really care. Uh, I actually think Jack Cohn can do a great job, and I know there's a lot of skepticism about that. I think Jack Cohn is a lot more talented than his numbers at Wisconsin suggest, and I think Notre Dame fans are going to see that. I think Tyler Buckner is an extremely talented freshman quarterback. I think Brandon Clark has some physical tools. I don't know if he has the feel for playing quarterback, but if that light goes on with the physical tools, he could be a productive player. And I think Drew Pine can execute an offense in college at a very, very high level. I'm confident in Notre Dame's talent. The experience isn't necessarily there. And even the one experienced player, Jack Cohn, started 1 year at Wisconsin, and he's got to learn a new offense and new teammates. So there's not a lot of experience there, but the talent is there. And so if we go back to our original premise of simplifying things and focusing more on explosiveness and tempo and matchups and isolations and less on about just the volume of plays and concepts that you have week to week, which is more of an NFL thing than a college thing nowadays, I'm confident the quarterback position is going to be fine from a talent standpoint no matter who steps into the starting lineup. The question is bigger than that. The question is bigger than who starts. The question is whoever starts, is that guy going to be allowed to be more of a playmaker? And then if allowed to be more of a playmaker, will he be able to effectively execute at more of a playmaking level? It's about being more efficient with the football. It's about being better decision makers. It's about getting the ball out on time. It's about being willing to take more chances. That's one thing I really like about Jack Cohn. That's a very underrated part of his game is in a conservative offense at Wisconsin, a very conservative offense at Wisconsin, he was willing to take chances. And with receivers that weren't as good as the guys that he's going to be working with at Notre Dame, outside of Quintez Cephas, I don't know if he was thrown to anybody who's going to be playing in the NFL as far as receivers and tight ends. And Jonathan Taylor obviously is a very talented NFL running back, but he didn't catch the ball a whole lot, and it was mostly screens and checkdowns. He's going to have a lot of weapons to work with in Notre Dame. If they open the offense up, if they allow him to spread the ball around, to take more chances, I think Jack Cohn could be a very, very good quarterback. And I feel the same way about some of the younger players. But it's got to happen. And as coaches, you have to create an environment to allow that to happen. I think one thing that has happened in recent seasons at Notre Dame, and this is something I think hurt Ian Book, there's been such an emphasis on not making a mistake on offense that at times Ian Book almost looked paralyzed as a quarterback, especially in the bigger games where you can't make a mistake, you can't make a mistake, you can't make a mistake. So he just doesn't even try a throw. And that's what a lot of people say. You'll watch the game, say, well, he was hitting guys when he threw the ball. Well, the problem isn't what happens when he throws it. The problem is that he just doesn't throw it enough. And there were plenty of opportunities where Notre Dame could and should have taken more chances, but they didn't. I don't necessarily blame Ian Book for that. I think that was more of a product of the culture that Brian Kelly has created on offense. And I think he needs to be willing to allow for some mistakes. Look, a quarterback taking a shot down the field on 2nd and 12 or 3rd and 8 and getting picked off 30, 40 yards down the field, to me, isn't a whole lot different than punting the football, right? So I want to see those chances because, look, you're going to turn the ball over a few more times. If you're a more aggressive offense, it's going to happen. But I believe when you have talent and if you coach that team up right, that is going to be balanced with and exceeded by the fact you're going to make so many more plays. Deshaun Watson in 2016 is a perfect example. Media people, analysts, they just shredded him because he threw 17 turnovers that year. But I would love for somebody to count the big time throws he made compared to the number of turnovers he made, because you're going to find that his turnover to big play ratio was really great. Whereas at Notre Dame, and I'm having an article about this soon, the number of big time throws that Ian Book made was small. And not because Ian Book didn't have the arm talent to make some of those throws. It's he just didn't try them. And so those are the things that I think that you need to see from the quarterback position is more playmaking and focusing mostly on the pass game. I know Ian Book was really exciting running around. Brandon Wimbush could do a lot of things when plays broke down, but they've got to get better at making more plays in the pass game on a more consistent basis and not just the big bombs and the go routes. That's not what I'm talking about. It's, being willing to fit that ball on first down into a tight area, being willing to bang those out cuts, being willing to take some of those one-on-ones on the outside. You want to basically make it to where teams are stuck. If we go man, they're just beating us on the outside all the time. And when we go zone, they're just picking us apart up the hashes and over the middle all the time. That requires a quarterback to have some guts, and those guts have to be allowed to come out. And Ian Book showed a lot more guts as a runner than he did a passer, and I don't think that's because of him. I think that's because of, like I said, the culture that was created at Notre Dame, which is don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake. You have to find a balance there. And I think as Notre Dame tries to find that, it's going to allow their quarterbacks inherently to start making more plays.